This video is sponsored by Sakurako.
All right, we got a fantastic chapter here today, and we are like officially in the ninja arc, or the ninja village arc, whatever you want to call it. I guess it started maybe 2 chapters ago, or maybe in the last chapter, but we're in it now. And coming off of the previous chapter, we saw Saitama found Minako, and he brought Minako and Flashy Flash to the Hero Association to straight up talk to Blast about God, because apparently you could just do that now. I know, for the last 10 years, it was just impossible to talk to Blast, but now we can just go to the Hero Association, meet up with Sitch, and then schedule a meeting with Blast. And that brings us to this chapter where we're cutting away from that, but we are coming back to Blast, don't worry. We're actually cutting to Sonic, because we saw in the previous chapter, Sonic showed up after some time in his usual attempt to take down Saitama, but he wound up running into Flashy Flash. And that was the first time that we've seen them interact with each other, because these two have history. They actually came from the same graduating class in the Ninja Village. But not only them, Hellfire and Gale showed up too, because they survived the Monster Association arc in the retcons. And coming into this chapter, we're seeing them meeting up with Sonic again, saying that change of plans, instead of crushing them together, we'll do it one at a time. You know, going after Flashy Flash, presumably, but they're instantly taken out by other ninjas. Because it turns out that most of the graduating members of the previous classes of the Ninja Village show up. They've just been alive this whole time, just all chilling out there. And they're known as the Heavenly Ninja Party. They even surpass the highest rank of Zhoniin. And they're known as Tenin. I don't even think Tenin is a thing in Naruto. I was told it could be comparable to Sannin, like what Jiraiya and Tsunade were. I think Orochimaru was too, right? But that doesn't really matter in the One Punch Man world, because we go by like disaster levels for the most part. And since they took down Hellfire and Gale, who were technically dragons, I guess they're all dragons somewhat. I think that's fair to say, at least low. But that doesn't really mean too much nowadays. But it's better than being a demon for sure. But they're encountering Sonic here to recruit him. It's also mentioned that he is coming from the 44th class along with Flashy Flash, which is also said to be the last or the end class. And we're going to find out why that is, of course. But they go on to explain to Sonic that the time has come and that man has finally awakened. This world will be turned upside down. That man was the founder of the Ninja Village, and people have called him the most powerful ninja in history. He lost consciousness after a fierce battle with Blast 15 years ago and had been comatose inside a recovery capsule ever since. With that man as our leader, we will first assassinate our greatest sworn enemy, Flashy Flash, then move on to the public execution of Blast. So this is huge, big reveal here, and it's that the founder of the Ninja Village fought Blast 15 years ago and then got put into a coma, and he was like in a Dragon Ball Z recovery capsule until then. So we've already seen this guy. I don't want to beat around the bush anymore, okay? We've seen this guy, and we've seen him with Blast. Because we saw in chapter 173, in Blast's flashback, like when he first discovered that the God Cube was a thing, we saw that he had like a cool looking sword guy with him. This is this guy. Okay, this is the ninja leader. I'm tired of acting like it's not. We all know where this is going. Now, if you're thinking you were spoiled, don't worry. I would have figured that out even if I didn't read the webcomic. However, we can go into more of a speculative turn here because we don't know exactly the full backstory of this guy. But I'm pretty sure that I do, because it's already been laid out to us in the manga very nicely by One. Because in the previous chapter, we saw in a brief flashback when Sonic and Flashy Flash were children in the Ninja Village, there was a freaking God Cube there. So given that this picture of the Ninja Village leader looking all monstery, and considering that he didn't look like that before, pretty sure he touched the cube, made a deal with God, went rogue, and wound up fighting Blast, and Blast had to put the beat down on him. Like a serious beatdown, put him in like a 15-year Dragon Ball Z recovery capsule. Also, I just want to put a little quick theory about Blast's power out there. I don't think I've talked about this on the channel yet, but maybe I should make another video dedicated to it, but I'll just put it out here right now. I don't think Blast had the gravity manipulation powers until 2 years ago. Like, I'm thinking that that's why his battle with Elder Centipede was somewhat competitive, because during his fight with Elder Centipede was the first time that Blast himself saw God. And I think that once he made contact with God made contact with him, the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, the people that Blast rolls with, found Blast, and then I think they taught him how to manipulate energy and cosmic stuff like that. And before that, I think Blast was just a really powerful Esper, kind of like a mob psycho Esper. So maybe that's why his fight with the Ninja Village leader and Elder Centipede wasn't like a complete squash match. Granted, we don't even know what happened in the fight, we just heard about it, but I'm assuming it was somewhat competitive because Blast was rolling with that guy, so he was probably like the flashy Flash of his time. Maybe even stronger than that. Possibly. But anyway, the Heavenly Ninja Party winds up saying to Sonic that, like, you know, you're going to become a part of this plan as well. Us, you know, having the ninja leader come and rule the world, essentially. That's what we want to do. And he's like, tomorrow night, you will call Flash out to this location. And it's like, that man, the Ninja Village leader, he'll be here tomorrow as well. So it's like, what's Sonic going to do? Is he going to bring Flashy? Is he going to be subservient to the Ninja Village leader? This isn't a spoiler, but I'm going to tell you right now, probably no. Because Sonic is one of the biggest baby faces in the series right now, and there's no chance that he is going to turn heel again. I'm pretty sure he's not going. He could, but I'm pretty sure he's not. He's kind of like the Loki of One Punch Man at this point. But anyway, we come back to Blast meeting up with Saitama, Flash, and Monako, and Sitch from the end of the previous chapter, and we see that they're working in this lab because they're trying to undo human monstrification. And they're trying to do it as quickly as they possibly can. Now, we didn't know about this before. This is really cool. And they actually have some of the contestants of the martial arts tournament down here. I don't know how legal this is, but considering how they're acting here, I think they voluntarily came here. I don't think they're being held against their will.
But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Sakurako. Sakurako is a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box. Sakurako is also supporting local Japanese snack makers because each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese tea and a special Japanese tableware. It also comes with this awesome booklet that gives you information on all of the snacks in the box, as well as information about Japan and its culture.
This month's box is Wonders of Saitama. This month, Sakurako partners with Saitama City for a limited edition special designed box. Saitama City has both traditional and modern aspects of Japan, which is set one step away from Tokyo. Saitama is also known for its Saigokyu pear. Don't miss out on the opportunity to try Saitama pear gummies in this month's box, alongside the Milk Castella cakes, Curry Senpai, and Daifuku. All pairs excellently with Chapan Sayama tea from Saitama. And this month's tableware item is Wasaka crane chopsticks. Beautifully crafted lacquer chopsticks with a crane design symbolizing longevity and good fortune. So first I tried the tea that we get every month with Sakurako, and this month it's a Chapan Sayama tea. It was so rich and flavorful, and I love that it pairs with everything in the box, because I also tried the Castella milk cakes, which was so light and fluffy and has that great milk flavor to it that you only really find in Japanese products from my experience. And for something salty, I tried the Curry Senpai. It says that this has a blend of 15 exquisite curry spices, and you can taste each one of them. So if you'd like to get your very own artisan Japanese snack box from Sakurako every month, check out the link in the description and make sure you use my code Zhoniin. That way you'll get $5 off your purchase. Thanks, guys. Sitch also asks about Monako, and he's like, oh, what's this monster here? And Flash is like, you know, these two also, referring to Saitama, touched the God Cube directly. And when I did, so I brought them here with me as precious samples. Then we see that they're like, I don't know, doing some kind of like shock therapy on the monsters to try to turn them back to humans. And Monako gets scared seeing this, thinking that they're gonna like do it to her to try to unmonstrify her. And she says that, you know, there's no point, I was born a monster. Because apparently Monako is a piece of Giro that broke off during its creation in its own little Dragon Ball Z chamber thing. So... that's freaking wild. And if you've been following the channel, you know that I have been talking about Monako being suspicious since she essentially joined the group of Saitama Flash, right? Now, my main suspicion of Monako is the singular eye. Yeah, that's all it really takes for the symbolism to indicate that there is a possible underlying nefarious nature to a character. And sorry to everyone who has already heard this. I'm just going to put it out there again quickly. For all of the new viewers on today's video, also, hey guys, welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I review all of the best battle manga series. And I make theories and stuff too, so subscribe. Come on. But anyway, long story short, similar to One Piece, in One Punch Man, the good guys and bad guys are separated into the sun and the moon, but more so the left and the right, and even more so the left eye and the right eye. The right represents the sun, which is good. The left represents the bad, which is the moon. And when we typically see a singular eye, like a Cyclops kind of eye in this series, I would say 99.99% of the time, it means that they are evil or heavily tied to evil. Now, Minako being a monster inherently means that she is evil, but obviously the way that she acts doesn't indicate that. But it just means that there will be some kind of turn or transformation or reveal at some point to where she will be a major evil thing. And this is the revealing point, in my opinion, because the singular eye means the Eye of Horus. And the Eye of Horus in this series means that God or disciples of God have vision through it. And I think this means that Psychos probably still can see through Minako, since we know that Psychos was able to psychically control Giro Giro. Now, she didn't have like a worldwide field of Esper Wi-Fi to be able to control Giro Giro. We saw that she needed like little conduits to be able to control it from the distances between the Monster Association underground. So I'm not saying that Psychos can just automatically control Minako, but depending on the radius and how close they are to each other, I'm pretty sure Psychos will eventually control Minako. And this could lead to how Psychos escapes from Fubuki and the heroes, and also probably leads to Minako's heel turn and transformation into a sexy monster. But anyway, we're coming back to the monsters being experimented on, and Hamukichi from the martial arts tournament. Yeah, that's this guy's name. And if you're wondering how I know that, it's because I checked it on the wiki right before I said this. But we see that he willingly keeps going back and getting shocked, trying to reverse the monstrification because he knew that he made a mistake. Like, he was being watched on TV by kids at the dojo and he wanted to make a good impression, so I don't know, he just fell into peer pressure. And Goketsu dropped those monster cells and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Also, too bad that Goketsu's gone, because man, it would have been cool for him to like be reverted to a human and then join the heroes. I mean, yeah, that sounds fanficky, but man, that would have been so cool. Technically, he can come back. If you do the same stuff that Phoenix Man and Child Emperor did, they can find Goketsu's corpse and then reattach his head, and then Phoenix Man would do the Awakening Light, and then Child Emperor hits him with the Gigavolt Smash, then take him to this laboratory, run him through the electroshock therapy or whatever, make him a human again, and then send him to Bang's school, and then send him to the S-Class. Come on, One. I'm practically writing this for free for you, bro. But anyway, we see that Hamukichi is quote-unquote stabilizing, like he's progressing in undoing the monstrification, and Blast is looking at it and he's like, so their psychological state is the key. And we already knew this actually, because Bang discovered this himself when he saw that these slaves of Super S were able to like undo the monstrification that she was able to give to them with her ability. And the same thing was kind of happening with Garo as well. I mean, Garo was like an outlier because he would just completely undid the monstrification on his own. He broke out of a freaking shell that he built around himself. So I guess you could replicate this on a smaller scale with less powerful people than Garo. And I do think that this is going to be for sure explored more as the series goes on, because I do think that more and more people are going to become monsters, more and more like main characters. That's not a spoiler, I'm just pretty sure it's going to happen. I'm not even talking about people who are allegedly monsters right now. I'm just saying, like, it's possible, I don't know, Metal Bat might monsterize for some reason, I don't know. But another interesting thing here is that we see Hamukichi being wheeled away in this cube. And, I'm sure a lot of you saw, cube, like God Cube. Yes, 100%. But I think it has multiple parallels here. So first of all, God Cube. Second of all, the cube with the monster in there representing that all monsters come from God. But also, this is God himself trapped in his own hypercube. Because when Saitama, Flash Minako looked through that hole underneath the Monster Association after they touched the cube, what I'm thinking they were seeing was God's power or energy or consciousness trapped in a hypercube. because it was revealed 2 chapters ago, I think, through the Cruel Dragon story, which, let me put it out there, is not directly telling us the backstory of God. I just, in my opinion, think that it is. God was like separated from himself like 3 ways or something. Like his tangible form was like sent to Earth and it crashed into the moon. Then like his ethereal consciousness or whatever was sealed in a hypercube, and then a third part of him was sealed in another dimension. And it all comes back to like triple deity, you know, the concept of a god having 3 faces or 3 identities. And one keeps playing with that concept here in such cool ways. I love it so much. But we come to the end of the chapter and Flashy Flash is like, you know something, don't you? Talking to Blast. And he's like, about the connection between God and the ninja village where I was raised. So, like I already said before, we already saw Blast with the ninja village guy. So now we're going to get a big exposition and backstory dump in the next chapter, or at least I hope, because it's going to be pretty incredible. We haven't even seen detailed flashbacks in the webcomic yet. So hopefully the manga reveals stuff that we haven't even known about. But that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you next one.